Journey into comics.
Poor 360.
Journey into wrestling.
Foodies watching movies.
Adulting ain't easy.
Podcastrophe.
Kids for Sale. Voice Survival Podcast. Crucial Tunes.
Gallifradio.
Brews with Dudes.
Dungeons with Dudes.
Subscribe to Journey into Comics Network on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, or at JourneyIntoComics.com.
The following
Journey into Comics.
Journey into
It's a
comics.
journey into
Is it
comics.
Journey into Comics?
Journey into comics.
Journey into comics.
Network.
Production.
Dave here with Dungeon with Dudes, and you're
This
listening
is
to
Dave
the
with
Best of the
Dungeon
Week.
with Dudes, and you're on listening to the best of the week.
And here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Journey into Comics.
There's a lot of people looking forward to Endgame, so much so that there was a new trailer released along with the official announcement that tickets went on sale this week, folks. So we're going to watch the trailer, react, as we've been doing. Here we go.
If we do this, we'd be going in short-handed.
Yeah, you mean because he killed all our friends?
We owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
It's not about how much we lost. It's about how much we have left. Where's the Avengers?
So many dope moments.
You trust me? I do. You could not live with your own failure. Where did that bring you? Back to me.
Oh, I cannot. Okay. So,
Tickets on sale now.
yeah, obviously tickets are on sale now, and they say that. So we're going to go back to it here in a second and really dive into some of the things that we see in this trailer because there's a lot going on.
If we do this, we'd be going in
So it starts with they're in Avengers Tower. You see Banner talking to the Avengers. It's Thor. Thor was drinking some La Croix. Apparently they like lemon flavored water that doesn't taste like lemon. Whatever, but doesn't matter. Back to it.
We owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
Then we've got the scene here with Black Widow saying that, that she's essentially like, it looks like self-reflecting and just like, again, they're doing the whole overdub thing where her voice is not coming from this moment. So we don't know what's really going on with that rain scene or what she's thinking.
It's not about how
So here's an interesting shot that they show and they give up in the trailer. A Guardians of the Galaxy reunion as Nebula reunites with Rocket Raccoon for the first time since the snap and the decimation of everybody who was a Guardian of the Galaxy except for these two. Literally, they're all that's left.
how much we lost.
Pepper hugging Tony. This is obviously his return to Earth. Again, shocking that they're giving this away in the trailer, but maybe things are afoot and this isn't exactly as they seem. We get the Avengers compound again. They spent a lot of time showing us the compound, and I think there's a reason. They're building something bigger and telling a story, and I just noticed something from a set piece, which I'm going to predict here right now. So there were some toys that released, and it shows like apparently the quote-unquote attack on the Avengers compound by Thanos. One thing is his toy specifically, the base of his toy is the Avengers A, but it's like specifically destroyed in a way that looks like it's prop-esque. So on the top of one of the far buildings of the Avengers facility that they have here after the decimation, there is a giant A, which leads me to believe that over here by where the Quinjet is going to be the landing point for Thanos later in the trailer, which we'll get to in a second. So here's an interesting shot of Tony flying over New York. Here's my prediction. This is during the Battle of New York, and this is Tony Stark doing something else. This is a sleight of hand magic moment where we think it's just regular New York, but I don't think so. I think we're seeing something else right here, and we're seeing some time travel-y stuff. You've got a shot of Clint Barton, a.k.a. Ronan. He's got the badass arm tattoo. Looks pretty pissed off. He looks like maybe his whole family was blinked out of existence in a snap of a finger.
Where's the Avengers?
We're the Avengers thing. You've got Tony talking over it. The scene with Stormbreaker going by Captain Marvel really fast. She smiles. Now here's an interesting shot. You have Ronan or Hawkeye. He's looking over. It looks like he's directly staring at Rocket Raccoon like, when the fuck did we get a raccoon? Which, spoiler alert, you've had one for a while, but you've got Rhodey, Tony, Steve, Nebula, Rocket, Scott Lang, and Black Widow all standing. Who knows what they're looking at? The only two people that aren't in this shot are Thor and Captain Marvel. Maybe this is the scene where Stormbreaker goes flying by her face and they're all reacting to like, oh God, I hope they don't go at it. I just tried to get the thing to keep going and it didn't go.
You trust me?
Okay, so this scene is one I want to specifically break down. Tony and Steve, again, Battle of New York, back in the past. You can notice that Steve has the scale armor that he's going to be getting in this movie. He's clean shaven, so you can tell the timeline is later in the movie because his uniform is not all blue. It's been a little damaged and dirty, maybe lost a fight or two and is a little bit bruised up. Tony's obviously not in armor, and he says, "You trust me, right?"
I do.
And they shake hands. Now, I want to very specifically call this right now on Journey into Comics 238 ahead of the Endgame movie coming out in just like, what is that, 23, not 23 days away, however many days, 17 days away or whatever it is. It is 17 days, not bad. So, I think this is the last time Tony and Steve are going to see each other. And this is the linchpin of the movie. This decision is going to kill one of them and ultimately save everyone. I think it's going to kill Cap and it's going to actually save Tony. But you're going to think that it's going to kill Tony and that Cap is going to be the one that gets saved. Kind of that Dark Knight thing where you think they're going to save Rachel, but they actually end up saving Two-Face because the thing was backed up, messed up because of chaos. As we recall, we'll talk about some Dark Knight stuff later too as well. On April 26th, now you get, here's a very important shot. You see the Benatar and a planet. That planet is fucking Morag, you guys. Has to be Morag. I'm telling you. And why is that important? Well, if the Benatar is at Morag, what could the theme of this movie be? What could they be doing? And I'm trying to think about it. Like, how could they really make it work? Well, what if they fought Thanos because they went and stole the Infinity Stones before he had a chance at them? So you essentially get the Scepter and the Tesseract from the Battle of New York. You know that the orb is on Morag because that's where Quill found it, which means that Gamora, or not Gamora, Nebula, I'm sorry about that, and Rocket obviously know where it's at because he talked about it. So they can go there and get it before he got it. I mean, you could essentially just pluck through time and try to get the stones before they did a thing. You can go to literally, you can go to Doctor Strange right after he gets the Eye of Agamotto, right after he defeats fucking Dormammu and be like, this is what's coming. Here's the plan. This is how it has to happen, and I need you to do this right now. We're going to take the stone just for this one moment so we can undo all this bullshit, okay? Great. Here we go. So you see, again, Morag, the Benatar, they hit hyperspeed, and you notice you've got Rocket Raccoon, you have Captain America, Thor, Rhodey, you've got Black Widow, and you've also got Captain Marvel. You don't have Ant-Man, at least he's not seen here. You don't have Hulk, he at least is not seen here. You also, from what I'm seeing, do not have Tony Stark. So I'm interested in what is going on. Okay, here's a shot. Speaking of Tony Stark, it's him and Parker. He's reminiscing. Parker getting the Stark internship scholarship thing or whatever, them obviously creating the quote-unquote lie to help sell Spider-Man.
You could not live with your own failure.
Here we get Thanos' voice, another shot of a planet we've seen before. I'm pretty sure this is Xandar, possibly, and the Sanctuary 2 over top, which could mean maybe the destruction of Xandar is seen in this movie, and maybe we do fucking get a Richard Rider story. That would be really cool. We'll see. You obviously see Rhodey with new War Machine armor and Nebula side by side in the Benatar, but it's just those two. The ship is not as full. You can see the seats behind them seem pretty empty.
Where did that bring you?
You've got Thor and then a shot of Rocket. Rocket looks like he's about to cry. I'm thinking this is when he's learning the fate of everyone who got snapped that was a Guardian. So he knows Groot was lost. But at the time, he doesn't know what happened to Drax. He doesn't know what happened to Gamora. No idea what happened to Quill or Mantis. So I feel like this is him finding something out. He has like the tears in his eyes. Also, it looks like this could possibly take place on the Sanctuary 2, which is where Thanos, stays and chills out. You got Cap. He's on the ground. He's got the scale armor that I was talking about, and things are blown up. Looks kind of like there was an attack. There's the blue from the Space Stone and Thanos coming through. And then you get a shot of Tony in some rubble. And here's the end shot, which is awesome because you've got Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor, the original trilogy or trinity of superheroes that they combined to really bring the MCU together in Avengers. Again, here together. You see the new Thanos weapon in the distance, the big sword type thing. It's in the ground. And Thanos is sitting, no helmet, just chilling out. Looks like maybe the Space Stone is being used for something. Possibly, I do see a blue glow. That could also be something coming off his armor. And then it just says Avengers Endgame, tickets on sale now. So I did it, guys. I got tickets to Avengers Endgame, and I want to tell you my experience because, boy, was it a doozy. I knew for a fact. I was like, look, Endgame tickets are going to be a real motherfucker to get. It's going to be a real pain in the ass in general. You're going to have to get in line early to see the movie. You're going to have to ensure that, if you're going with a group, make sure your group's together, because trying to save seats and shit's going to be hard, but getting tickets was insanity. So I woke up when the tickets went on sale announcement happened, and everybody's like right away, literally the minute that tickets go on sale, 3-hour wait time, because their fucking entire servers flooded. Everybody's trying to secure tickets. It's the biggest movie of all time, right? So I'm not up yet when that happened, but when I finally got myself together, I was like, oh, well, I'm going to try my best to get the 6 o'clock tickets for the Thursday showing. So that's the earliest they show the film in its entirety, unless you're a part of one of their fucking marathons that they're doing, the 22 movie marathon into Endgame, which you get to start an hour earlier, which means you get to go home an hour before everybody else and finally get some sleep and wash your balls because you've been in a movie theater for 62 hours, which you probably smell bad. I'm sorry, but it's true. So I'm in the queue for like an hour and 40 minutes, and it's like 54 seconds remaining, 26 seconds remaining, 8 seconds remaining, 1 second remaining, nothing. It literally reads on the screen, we're taking you to go order your tickets now. Nothing. I'm like, I've been sitting here for almost 2 hours and nothing has happened. And still nothing is happening, and I'm going to start to twitch and fucking lose my mind. I just want to secure these tickets to know that I'm going to get to go on Thursday and to know I'm going to get the earliest opportunity. Because, as you guys know, it's a busy fucking crazy weekend that weekend. We've got a big show in Chicago. We're doing LaFiCon hosting that weekend. We've got a lot of things planned for that. Nick Maxon and myself and the guys on the network and everybody are working together to put together one of the biggest events. The whole team is going to try to put something together that's extra special this year with LaFiCon. We cannot wait. A shout out to Nick Maxon too, man. He is just a fucking workhorse. I love that dude so much. He's going to be a guest this week on The Voice of Survival. I cannot wait to sit down and chit-chat with him about his life, his journey to becoming the man he is today, and all the different things he does, and his desired to do in his journey. So anyways, back to it. Finally get through. They finally refresh the page, and I get to the point where I can order the tickets up, get everything ready to go. I'm stoked. We did it. 6 o'clock tickets. 4 tickets got. So me, Sarah, Veronica, guaranteed going. We're also bringing our buddy Cody. He's the guy that I got through the MCU. He'd never seen it before. He was a little bit bummed, I think, that we didn't invite him when we went to the debut of Captain Marvel. And I was like, man, you know what? I will invite you for Endgame because it is a big deal, and I got you into that. So it's only right that I'm there and you're a part of it when this is all ending. So we, got the ticket secured. I sent them 2 different ways to myself so I can really ensure that we have them and there's no fuckery that can happen. So anyways, it was a crazy experience. It was like, man. And then, you find out things like what I'm about to talk about, which is they broke the ticket sales, the record, and they tripled Infinity War's day one record in 8 hours.
It's funny how we kind of stumbled onto it because I didn't know that you were into it until I had seen you post something in a group that I wasn't even a member of yet, but because you and I are Facebook friends, I got to see, outside looking into that closed fish keeping group, and I was like, I started scrolling through it, and, you messaged me that later that day, and you're like, hey, do you keep fish? Yeah, yeah. I have some aquarium stuff. So
I was like, how does this because it just never came up because it doesn't come up in conversation ever. Like no one's like, oh, what are your friends? What are your hobbies? Do you keep fish? Like no one asks you that. It's just odd. And I haven't been in it that long. Like I got into it through Liz, and then it just opened a door in September of last year because Liz moved in and brought her betta fish, and I was like, and then the betta fish died, and I was like, well, we need to get something else to replace it, and then it was just a domino effect. But I don't know, what was it for you?
So I kind of ran the whole gauntlet when I was a kid. I mean, I had obviously dogs and cats, and I had livestock, and then every little boy, I wanted lizards and turtles, and then it was I won some goldfish at the fair. Let's try and keep this goldfish. And then I got out of the aquarium hobby for, I want to say almost 10 years. And then I was at work at my previous employer's one night. It was 1:30 in the morning. And one of the guys that I was working with was talking about a bunch of African cichlids that he had that just spawned. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't really know anything about African cichlids, but I was like, I like fish. I love anything that has to do with water recreation or, water ecosystems. I just love the ocean and rivers and lakes. So I was instantly interested in the conversation. And he's like, yeah, I've got a man cave with a smaller tank in it that I'm looking to get rid of. And originally, I was going to buy that tank, sell the fish, and do a micro reef setup. And once I got it, I was like, I love the fish that are in this tank. Why would I get rid of something that's making me happy? So I bought a pretty much complete setup from him, other than the stand. I bought a 36-gallon bow front with a whole school of tiger barbs and a mature red-tailed black shark that was 5.5 inches. I mean, okay. he was pretty good size. And then, I played around with that tank for pretty much 3 years. Never had any issues with it. The only thing that I didn't do with it that I was really unhappy is I didn't plan it. I just hardscaped it the way that I wanted it. And then I was too afraid at that time to dive into the live plants. And I knew from having that tank and, it was upstairs in my daughter's bedroom. I really wanted to upgrade my tank size and bring it downstairs. So here in the last couple months, I upgraded to a 60 tall, and I wish when I bought the tank that it was labeled as a 60 tall, because it's a lot taller than I want it to be.
How tall is it? Like 2 feet?
Give me just 1 second. I'll tell you exactly how tall it is.
Yeah. So, while Tyler's doing that, so yeah, his because kind of speaking how it actually happened was that as Tyler was getting into the whole that Facebook group and everything that I had joined because of a podcast that I had found when I was just searching for something about fish keeping just to learn a little bit more. We found this. I found this guy who had a fish store and then had like a YouTube channel, but then he also had a podcast. So I kind of went into it very backwards. I was like, podcast? Oh, he has a YouTube channel, and I was like, oh, he sells stuff online, and then that was how I rounded out. And then that's one thing I was like, I think you showed me a picture of your tank, and I was like, the only place I keep hearing where that thing exists is through this guy. And I was like, do you listen to that aquarium co-op thing? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what is happening?
Yeah, so that tank that I have is exactly 25 inches tall. So
Okay.
it's just slightly slightly wider than a 55, but it's like 1.5 times the height.
Right.
So that's where they got the extra 50 gallons. So I went into PetSmart like 3 days after PetSmart and Petco always do the $1 per gallon sale.
Right.
So it was a couple days after that sale, had ended, and I was like, man, because my daughter's tank upstairs, the 36, I had on top of a dresser. And I was like, man, if I'm going to get this bigger tank, I want to actually have a stand. And I had thought about building my own, because other than getting that extremely good deal from my coworker right away, much like you with the aquarium co-op, I dove right into aquarium co-op, the DIY aquarium DIY, and Dustin's fish tanks. And I have this tendency when I get involved into a hobby that then I just completely forget about anything else that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, do I build a stand? Do I just, buy one of these ensemble kits? And I had looked at the tank that I have now, and it was like $450 for everything, and I didn't want to spend $500 on a fish tank,
Right. It's just like I get that completely.
It's obnoxious what some of these tanks cost. I mean, and this is just a regular glass tank. It's not even anything acrylic.
Right.
But I just happened to kind of put that on the back burner for like 6 months, and I went back into that same PetSmart to get like some dog food or something, and they had the entire set on sale for like $159.
I'm like, oh, I can't.
I'm
getting that today.
I went home because I didn't have my truck. I drove my wife's vehicle to PetSmart. I went home, got my truck, and went back and got it. So I couldn't resist.
Just do tell your wife anything. You're just like, I'll be right back.
Well, I called one of my good friends, and I was like, hey, I need you to help me get this. And he's like, you bought a giant fish tank? And I said, it's not giant. It's just big enough that I can't carry it by myself.
Right.
So I recruited some help, and I set the stand and the tank up dry in this room, in my living room, and then it sat like that for almost a year. Because I just wasn't ready to move my setup from upstairs down. So.
Right. Because the 36 was the one you got from the guy you worked with. That was his extra tank.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, and then you finally got it set up, and then.
Yeah, so I kind of like power cycled it. I filled it up with water when I was pretty adamant that I was gonna do a planted tank this time around. I had slowly but surely been procuring the equipment that I needed. So I had a canister filter and a sponge filter set up on my tank upstairs, and I knew that when I set this bigger tank up, I didn't want to mess around with a canister filter anymore.
Right.
I mean, it worked flawlessly, never had any issues with it, but every time I needed to work on it, I had to worry about flooding my house, and sometimes, trying to get that thing primed was, I might as well have tried to win the lottery because I had better odds at doing that. Mm-hmm. And I stumbled on the Zis bubble biofilter that Corey imports and sells, and I saw that and I was like, man, I gotta have it. Because I had thought about making one out of a 2-liter bottle, like you see all the DIY videos on YouTube, and I was like, I got to do it. So
they just don't look great, and you're like, and it's like this, and you're like, that's what I need. And it's just
well, as far as the sponge filters go, there's nothing about them that I don't like, and everybody complains that they're like an eyesore in a tank. They don't really bother me because when I look at my tank, even though I'm not happy with how I have it planted and scaped, even after I redid it last weekend or the weekend before, when I look at the tank, I'm looking at the plants and the driftwood that I have and the hardscape and the fish. So I have three filters set up in my tank right now. I've got the Zis. I have like it's one of the Hikari fine sponges. It's a small one, like a 30-gallon one, and then I've got a big, like 80-gallon sponge set up in the corner. I don't even notice them.
Yeah, really. I have ones in all of mine, and they're just, you put them and they're just there, and you kind of overlook them. Like someone could easily see it, but like you just like look past it when you look at them. At least how I do it.
Right. So, yeah, I know you and I have both been kind of tinkering with our setups over the last few weeks. I messed around with mine. I went to order a bunch of plants from the co-op, and they were all out of stock, so I ordered them from somewhere else. And I was really happy with my purchase that I made, but I ordered, I think, way too many plants. So now my tank is pretty much nothing but plants, and it's not overgrown, obviously, because they're all brand new plants.
But there's the inevitable, like 6 months from now, you're like, oh, their fish are just stuck in one spot now.
My tank is going to approach jungle status very quickly. But other than lighting and, rearranging the scape and what I really, I remember what I was going to say now. I was adamant that when I got this tank and it was time to set it up, that I was going to grow plants, but I was going to do it in sand. And I found this product. Give me just a second. I'll actually pull it up so I don't butcher the name.
Yeah, no problem.
So the brand Caribsea makes this mat called a Rhizomat, which is basically it's like plant fibers that they've woven together, and I think it might be out of production now, but I bought one while I was kind of gearing up for this tank, and it's like woven plant fibers together, or it's a big mat of woven plant fiber, and you're supposed to put it underneath the substrate, and then when you plant plants into whatever your substrate is, it gives plants that are heavy root feeders, so pretty much all of your stem plants, crypts, it gives them a better plate to root, or gives them a better place to kind of root and hold on to. And I only bought one, so it wasn't wide enough to fit my entire tank, and I put that on the right side of my tank, blended white and black sand together, and like the first 3 days that I had it, it looked fantastic, and then once I put fish in, They demolished it, and it's 99% white sand on top now. And it's like obnoxious. It's like the color of chalk. So,
that whitish grayish.
Yeah, so it's not super ideal. And here recently, when I rescaped, I thought, well, I'll get some Fluval stratum for my plants that are struggling and for the new plants, and I'll basically just pot those plants in that substrate. So, I dug a little cavity and then put the stratum in, planted it, and then capped that over with the sand that was already in the tank. And that worked out pretty well. My snails have done a pretty good job of disturbing that and making it so there's random assortments of stratum now on top of the sand. So the only thing I really need to do is add more hardscape and cap the sand that I have right now, and then I think this tank I'll be happy with it, and I won't have to tinker with it all the time.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
Everything else that happened had some crazy, unexpected, weird, outlandish shit. And, NXT was just a great card in general, and it hit all the notes for me. This is a solid A for me as far as entertainment and wrestling is concerned. They put all their belts were on the line as all the matches. They were the only matches that mattered. It was a shorter card. It had way more fucking impact in the shorter card than, say, 50% of WrestleMania, which I loved, and we're going to talk about that soon as well. But condensing it down, the importance of NXT TakeOver and the ramifications on the other side of this are huge. And I can't wait to see what's happening on the other side of this coming Wednesday. Tonight. As you're listening to this, tonight is NXT, the other side. It'll obviously be the thing that kind of like wraps up and tells you the things that happened on pay-per-view that you didn't get to see, as well as like some undercard people like Keith Lee and some other people will probably have matches, or like the Street Profits or Jackson Ryder or Candice LeRae or some of these people like that might have some singles matches that'll be televised on Wednesday that were from the weekend. That's usually how they do it. So NXT TakeOver, solid A. I really, really, really loved it. Now, Saturday we had two things that happened. I fucked that up, definitely. But the WWE Hall of Fame as well as the G1 Supercard takes place. I think we should touch on the bigger story first. The secondary story was still big, but the overall thing was really good. But Saturday was the WWE's Hall of Fame induction. They inducted Honky Tonk Man and Tori Wilson, and they inducted Harlem Heat, and they inducted fucking D-Generation X, obviously. How'd I fuck that one up? I feel like there was a couple more that they inducted as well, but I'm doing really bad right now, and I don't have the list in front of me. But, the Hart Foundation, the Hart Foundation, that was the one I was forgetting that was big. So, speaking of that, the Hart Foundation is getting inducted, and Natalya gives a speech in honor of Jim the Anvil, which was really beautiful, really nice, thought-out speech and things that were worth saying, and it was definitely great reflecting from her being such a fan of her dad. And that was really cool. But then it was Brett's turn to talk, and Brett was talking, and he was giving his speech, and everything was cool. And then out of fucking nowhere, some Rastafarian-looking motherfucker, not really just a dude with a Rastafarian, like, Jamaican Me Crazy hat, tackled Bret Hart to the ground? What the fuck? So here is the breakdown of everything that happened. Officially, the person that did this has been charged with assault, and then the WWE officially released a statement. The attacker was charged with 2 counts of assault in the 3rd degree and disorderly conduct. And the WWE released official statement saying, an over-exuberant fan surpassed our security at ringside and made his way briefly into the ring. The individual has been turned over to the proper authorities. Now, we've got some more stuff on this because this guy had like some troubling tweets. He was threatening Vince McMahon and trying to say like, "You better fly me out there" and all this shit. Like, it was really crazy. But he tweeted this. He said, "Please keep in mind that my check engine light is on. I've driven well over the 5,000 miles without an oil change, and I don't have a GPS. Additionally, the only bigger joke than my car is my sense of direction. It might be easier to book me a flight. Vince McMahon, you have 24 to 30 hours. Zach Madsen." Okay. And then another one says, "The Crown Prince of Ryan will be headed to New Jersey on Friday with or without his two best friends, Batman and Harvey, unless the transportation is booked prior to then. Again, thank you so much, Vince McMahon. You are my hero." Weird. It was just like weird, these really weird, bizarre tweets and stuff, you know. And he actually told the police after his arrest that he said he felt like it was just the right moment to attack Brett. It was just the right moment. That's fucked up. Fuck that guy. I don't like this guy. But Brett actually has some stuff to say, and this is the best. I think this is the great takeaway from the whole thing. What a wild weekend, to say the least. First of all, I want to thank WWE for not only the Hall of Fame honor for myself and Jim the Anvil Neidhart, but for their hospitality with my family and friends. Regarding the ceremony, firstly, I want to let everyone know that I am okay and was not injured. There's one thing I want everyone to take away from the Hall of Fame ceremony is not so much what happened, but how I wasn't going to let anything stop me from completing my tribute to my best friend in our team. I'm also glad I got to join Natalia and Beth for their WrestleMania moment. Thank you, everyone, for your kind thoughts and words. Bret Hart. You know, and they posted a fucking mugshot of this fucking incel douchebag. And, man, fuck this guy, dude. Like, seriously, fuck this guy. I hope he gets fucking raped in the face. And I mean that. Like, fuck this guy. He attacked Bret Hart for no reason. Fuck this dude. I hope he gets fucking raped by a horse in the mouth. That's how much I feel against this dude that attacked Bret Hart. Like, fuck him. Seriously. Anyways, I'll get off that. So, you know, another thing that was really interesting, you know, with the overall the Hall of Fame, which was really great. Take another little quick drink break brought to you by Podcastrophe. Another thing that was really great about the Hall of Fame was just that it was different this year. It was in a ring. You know, speeches were a little bit more contained. And then the DX speech happened, and it was like everything was off the rails. It was fucking hysterical. They were talking about the rules and saying how you can't thank or mention Vince McMahon, which is true. He says specifically when you're out there never to mention him in your speech because it'll anger him. Because he doesn't want to take credit for something that he really, you know, it's not your career that you made. It's not his career that he made for you. You made your own career, and that's what got you to the Hall of Fame, you know? And I understand that, but they were like, we're not supposed to thank Vince McMahon. We wouldn't thank Vince McMahon. You can't say Vince, you know, and all this shit. It was really great. But they were talking about all the stuff you can't do, and Billy Gunn piped up, well, what's he going to do to me? He can't fire me because Billy Gunn isn't a senior executive producer for AEW. And Triple H, without missing a beat, was like, listen, Billy, get something right. Get something straight. What did he say? How did he say it exactly? He said, Billy, let's be honest. Vince will buy that pissant company just to fire you again. So they started laughing. There was an AEW joke. At some point, Michaels thanked Gunn for being there and being all in. Another AEW reference. So it was just really, I mean, they were really loose, and it was nice, and they talked about China and her importance, and there was a "she deserves it" chant, and a lot of tears were maybe shed in that moment, and some serious stuff and some not so serious stuff from those guys. It was really beautiful. You know, the whole thing, and Booker and Stevie talking and about their journey was great, and Tori talking about her journey was great, Honky talking about his journey. I mean, everybody talking was, all the different people along the way that they had on were amazing. It was awesome. So, like, the thing happens at the Hall of Fame, right? But then there was also craziness that breaks out at G1 Supercard. We're going to get to that in just a minute because we're going to get through the G1 Supercard, and we'll talk about it in order of things that happen. So the G1 Supercard, as I started watching it, kicked off with Jeff Cobb, the ROH champ, taking on Will Ospreay, the never open weight champ, in a winner-takes-all match for both titles. So whoever wins gets both. Ultimately, in a brutal, again, that's one of the words of this weekend. It was just brutal. There were a lot of different, like, crazy hard bumps in this match and wild spots that you wouldn't expect. Lots of big over-the-top, top rope type moves and stuff going on. Jeff Cobb defeating Will Ospreay for the Never Openweight title and now being the Never Openweight and also ROH World Television champ. Rush taking on Dalton Castle. Ultimately, Rush defeats Dalton Castle. I didn't really have much stake in that match. It was really quick. I think it was like 15 or 20 seconds. But Dalton Castle's never been a guy that, like, he's flashy. I get it. It's funny, but he's never been a guy that I've really been entertained by, so I wasn't really turned on by that. Then there was a ladies' match. Kelly Klein taking on Mayu Iwatani. And that was for the Women of Honor World Championship. And Kelly Klein dethrones Mayu Iwatani. I can't fucking say that name. For the Women of Honor World Championship. Great match. Strong performance by both ladies. Well deserved by Kelly Klein to finally get over as the champ. Up next, we had Bully Ray and Silas Young and Shane Taylor out there talking and about a New York street fight, about how Juice Robinson wasn't going to come out. And Juice came out, as did Mark Haskins and Flip Gordon, to take on Bully Ray, Shane Taylor, and Silas Young in the New York street fight. Ultimately, Flip Gordon and Lifeblood winning. Flip Gordon took a couple brutal shots. He gave all three dudes, Shane Taylor, Silas Young, and Bully Ray, kendo sticks, and they all took turns giving him their hardest pop. And, man, there were some gnarly, fucking ugly, terrible welts left on young Flip Gordon's back. It was sickening. Up next, there was a triple threat match for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, arguably one of the matches of the night. Dragon Lee taking on the champ Taiji Ishimori and Bandito. Ultimately, Dragon Lee getting the 3 count in this match in a hell of a battle between the 3 guys. They were just all over the fucking ring doing all kinds of crazy spots. Up next, we had the Gorillas of Destiny, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, the IWGP champs, against Villain Enterprises, PCO and Brody King, Los Ingobernables de Japons, Evil and Sonata, and the Briscoe Bros, Jay and Mark Briscoe, in a winner-takes-all 4-way tag match for both the IW Tag Team and ROH Tag titles. Gorillas of Destiny walking away with the titles. This was a brutal fight, a war, lots of throws, lots of heavy punches, lots of big spots, lots of crazy moves. PCO took some crazy spots. Oh, man, I mean, the whole match was just fucking chaos, literally. That's the best way to describe it. It was fucking chaos, okay? So the match ends, Gorillas of Destiny win, and then all of a sudden there's chaos ringside. The camera cuts for a second. You don't know what's going on. I'm watching the replay, so I already know what's coming at this point. I'm like aware because while I'm at WrestleMania, our buddy Alex Buckles is filling me in on stuff that's happening in wrestling, and he tells me, he's like, dude, Enzo and fucking Cass jumped the barricade at G1 and started fighting dudes, and it was a shoot. It's not a work. It's like they fucking just essentially invaded, and it's not good. You know, they didn't show it on TV. Like, it's a big deal. It sucks. But the other side of this is that the Briscoes, specifically Jay Briscoe, and at some point comes out Bully Ray, we're not taking to this quote-unquote invasion and beat the living shit out of Enzo and Cass, who were invading. What we later find out is that it is, in fact, a work, that the writers didn't want it, but then, like, the backstage heads wanted it or something. There's some combination of the two. But no one told Jay Briscoe that it was a work, so he literally beat the shit out of Enzo, like was throwing some pretty heavy blows to him. They set the wrestling world on fire. I mean, it was a very talked about moment. It blew the fuck up. I mean, they were like #1 trending over the Bret Hart thing at that point, you know, so that is pretty crazy. And it's a talked about moment. So you look at it and you just go, man, like, maybe they got something there. Up next, we had Zack Sabre Jr. taking on Hiroshi Tanahashi. Taka Michinoku doing the intro for ZSJ and talking about how you're going to just tap out. And, man, did he. Tanahashi taps to Zack Sabre Jr., who retains his British Heavyweight Championship. Great match. Kota Ibushi up against Tetsuya Naito for the IWGP Intercontinental title. Kota Ibushi citing some of the greats that have held the title before him and saying that he wanted to be like them and bring back honor to that belt. Taking on Tetsuya Naito in a hell of a battle back and forth. War. These two always go to war with each other. Some of the hardest bump spots and just ugly moments in general come from this match. But it was one hell of a battle. Ultimately won by Kota Ibushi, who is now your new IWGP Intercontinental Champion. It was fucking great watching this match. If you have not seen, again, Supercard, G1 Supercard was phenomenal. They never disappoint, but this was just an extra special fucking card. It was so much fun to watch. Up next, we had our co-main event, which was for the ROH World Championship. My boy Marty Scurll up against Matt Taven and the ROH champ Jay Lethal defending in the three-way ladder match for that title. It was a vicious war. There were so many disgustingly brutal bumps. The bump that Jay Lethal took, Taven did a running powerbomb through a ladder that was held up by two chairs. And it was just like, holy shit, you just killed fucking Jay Lethal. He's dead.
We're gonna fuck the sodomites in the...
We also have Keegan here. Welcome back again.
So,
this is your third time on Podcastrophe, and it didn't take a year to get you back this time.
No.
Good to drink.
Yeah, it should be good to drink. We had a slushy like explosion before.
Oh, no, taste it. It's really
all right.
bitter.
I'll taste it.
Technical beer difficulties.
Yeah, it tastes good to me.
Ooh.
Yeah, it like foamed up like crazy and spilled all over the floor and
all down my hand.
all over her hand. Her hand's sticky now for all the wrong reasons. But anyways, Keegan, you were saying something about True Green.
Yeah, those jerks. A guy was just not obeying traffic laws on my way over here, and he was in a True Green truck, and I was like, you're a piece of shit. And he just kind of was like, I know. And I was like, this is why people fertilize their own yard.
That's funny because
with Scots.
My ex Brady worked at True Green for like half a year.
It was probably him. He's probably back on the payroll there. I mean, I would guess.
We have Max Campbell.
Ooh, what's up, Max?
He says, make Keegan chug a beer. If that's something he wants to do.
All right,
we're having our first beer chug.
Well, I can't do a full one. Now there's too much pressure. Is everyone watching?
Close your eyes.
Is that it?
Yeah.
That's
totally
yeah,
it. There's nothing left.
That was like a 5-second chug.
Suck
That's
it,
like
Max.
fucking pro.
That was really quick.
That's pro level right there.
I did tell him to tune in, so.
Well, awesome. He's disobeying traffic laws
now.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. He said he was going to dangerously tune in on his drive home.
Nice.
So, Max, thank you for being a Patreon and donating $50 a month to Podcastrophe. That's really
that's really awesome.
That's really noble of you.
I wish. That would be super cool.
Do you have that Patreon up and running?
I do have that Patreon up and running. Feel free.
Well.
For those watching the live feed, Baxter is eating his asshole and attacking his own tail in the background. That's great.
On our workout mats.
Yep.
He's working out, doesn't he?
It's our like super small like workout pad. It's like
we're getting there.
It's like 6 feet by 4 feet, maybe. It's just enough for the bench. that's not on there right now.
I think it's perfect size for Baxter. He's getting a serious workout.
Yeah, it amazes me. His athletic ability is out of this world. I'm not even kidding. Like, he can do parkour. I haven't seen him do it in this house, though.
Can.
Yeah, but he straight up does wall jumps.
I was watching a video earlier
And he's
of
fat.
people
He's
putting
a little thick.
of people putting foods in front of the cats' faces and then making this really like yuck face, and I couldn't get it to happen.
He doesn't react to anything. Like, we've tried the cucumber or pickle.
Wait,
Doesn't
I
work.
haven't tried that.
I've tried it. It didn't work. We tried throwing a slice of cheese on his face. That's the most recent trend.
Oh my god.
Didn't work.
Probably because he lives with you and you're like the meme lord, so he's not
I'm
shocked.
not. I love my cat.
Yeah, but like he's probably seen you looking at things on the internet, and he's like, "There's nothing new." So when you try things with your cat, he's just like, "It's not phasing me, brah. I've seen cheese on face. I've seen it. Your memes are stale."
Damn.
Your cat's probably like, "Show me more fat Vince Neil." By the way, can we talk about that? That is the meme of April 2019.
Since I went into this
offended.
with nothing, I came into this with nothing to talk about. By all means,
I've been seeing that a lot lately.
Yeah, I haven't seen it at all.
Just like people posting it on. It's mostly just you and Austin and like 2 other people. But
I haven't seen any of the Vince Neil memes.
There's no memes. It's just that video of them like from their last show where he's like barely choking out every third word. I've seen a few that had captions that were just made up, like they were just making up what it sounds like he's saying. Yeah. I remember I used to have a DVD of them from 2005, and he sounded bad and out of breath.
I think I can find this.
I think we talked last time. We both saw them in 2009.
Yes.
And I don't remember him being terrible, but I might have just been too in the moment. But
wow. So I'd start typing
2005 and then 2015. So he's been shit for the last 10 plus years.
I started typing in Vince Neil on YouTube, and the first thing that pops up before I even finish typing Vince Neil, bad singing.
Oh yeah.
So is this one?
Probably.
All right, we're going to YouTube. Ah, that's way bigger than it needs to be. Going to YouTube.
Oh, classic. His face right there kills me. He only missed 5 words right there.
Oh my god.
And then he has the backup singers to sing the tough parts.
What? What the fuck is he saying?
And then
what is this?
Dude, I went and watched the actual, like, this concert because they filmed it, and, like, you can actually buy it if you want to spend money on the concert, their final concert. And, like, he sounds like that in every song. And I feel extra bad because the rest of the band is so airtight. Like, they've been practicing, and he's like, "Yeah, man, I got it. I'm Vince Neil."
He's like, I've straight up wasted your time.
I think I showed my friend this the other night, and I think he showed one of the top comments was like, "I want my money back, and I wasn't even there." I feel really bad.
Yeah,
for the people there.
That was. And the caption says Vince Neil's best performance. Vince Neil's greatest eats: ham, sweet ham, smoking a brisket in the boys' room, too fat for love, same old eggs and bacon, shout at the devil dogs, too young to fall in a diabetic coma, kickstart my deep fat fryer. She's got the cooks that grill.
Oh my god.
Wild rice.
Oh god, these are great.
Grills. Doctor, I don't feel good. But wait, there's more. If you go to a concert and sit in the first 3 rows by simply pointing the mic at you, he will let you sing half the lyrics as he catches his breath. That is so good. That's the first comment.
Oh man. Grills.
Looks that kill, literally. Kickstart My Heart still works as a song title.
Yeah. Kickstart My Clog.
You forgot the song Piece of Your Sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's this. I want a refund, and I wasn't even there. Vince Neil is a grown-up Cartman from South Park.
Oh. Yeah, a bit. Well, they're done now. The funny thing is, like, I looked at the date because I thought it just happened. That concert's from, like, New Year's Eve 2015. Really? So, like, this DVD's been out for at least 2 or 3 years, and then it's suddenly just now making the rounds. People are like, oh, this is hot right here.
Oh, man, these comments just get better. It says, say what y'all want. I think Melissa McCarthy did a pretty decent Vince impression there.
Jeez.
It's 2019 Vince Neil. Sounds like a really good Vince Neil impersonator who doesn't know the lyrics to any Cruise songs. Oh, what is this? Is this the lyrics? Oh my god.
Probably.
When I get high on cheese. Kraft macaroni is the drug for me. My heart got clogged, bypassed my heart. Always got the cops coming after me. Krispy Kreme's got glazed donuts for free. My heart got clogged, bypassed my heart. Ooh, are you ready, girls? Ooh, are you ready now? Man. Oh, yeah. Bypass my heart because it just got stopped.
Yeah, that's...
Oh, my God. Someone marked it at minute 2, says, Shama Hawk, never stop, Hussein, good lord, bit 2, bit wah. What even? Oh, shit, Aaron's here. What's up? I see you're not on your way from St. Louis.
Oh, Aaron Dong's in the chat house.
I always pronounce it Dangus.
I think it's Dangus.
That's his actual last name.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain OE makes an A sound. I think he told me that once, but no one says it.
That's interesting.
You can just Dongs.
Dongs. Yeah, that was rough to listen to.
Yeah,
that was hard.
I don't want to. You shouldn't play any more on the show. People will quit. It's bad. But you should check out some more later if you're interested.
That was like really rough.
Yeah.
The other one's just as bad.
Oh, there's another one? Don't tell me this.
There's only 2 left.
Oh, I thought you meant of the video.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm like, it just made me real. I just realized you weren't down here for the video.
No.
Vince Neil not being able to sing to Motley Crue songs
anymore.
In his defense, that was 2015. I'm sure he's much worse now. That's why they called it quits.
They recently just came out with the movie The Dirt on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently it's actually pretty good.
There was all that talk about that Queen movie.
I liked it a lot.
And then Lords of Chaos. And then, I was just on my couch on Netflix last week, and they were like, The Dirt. And I'm like, the hell is this? You just trying to, jump in and just usurp Queen's glory? We also have a movie with people playing us.
That's been the thing lately.
I think,
there's all these biopics.
They should stop. They should just quit movies. Do we need this?
Again.
I
This was
I don't know.
a huge topic last time.
I haven't seen the Queen movie, so I can't judge it too hard. It looks...
Good.
Bohemian
Rhapsody made me
was
uncomfortable looking.
I liked it.
Do we need people playing people who are still alive? Can't we just have them interviewed, in a documentary?
I liked it a lot. I liked Bohemian Rhapsody a lot. I really still want to watch The Dirt.
I can't wait for the...
I really want to watch Lords of Chaos.
What's the one? Elton John? No.
Oh, yeah, there's an Elton John one coming out.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called Rocket Man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think Carter Dick Smash should make a movie about ourselves called
What?
Why Not?
Do you hear our cat running around upstairs?
Yeah.
And Baxter's down here, so he's going crazy up there. He's meowing.
Just moshing it up.
Oh, man. I mean, I guess you could probably let him down here, but...
But yeah, we're going to start filming it next week, probably. It's just going to be called Why Not?
Do it in MS Paint.
Yeah. I mean, part of it... I don't want to spoil too much, but part of it's already animated.
Or you could do, an interview style, behind the scenes or whatever, and just, you guys interview, but as you're telling the stories, it cuts to MS Paint.
That'd
an
be
MS
pretty
Paint
cool.
scene.
The history of the band.
Yeah. It's we started out...
Well, we were recording. We recorded garbage in a private studio in London. We had mountains of Coke and just tons of beer and, hookers every day.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, we had half the songs written when we went in the studio. It's not a problem to just, book extra time. It's not hard for us at all. Computer paid for it all.
Computer paid for it.
The songs just kind of come. They just come naturally when you're in that, just coked up, drunk state of mind. That's how we did it. That's the magic.
Cocaine. Cocaine-fueled death metal.
Death metal?
Death metal. What else would you call yourself?
Oh, what we just pure Lafayette slime.
You heard it here first, folks. Car door dick smash is pure Lafayette slime.
Hot dog grind.
Hot
is
dog
another term we've
grind.
used.
I like that. I like that a lot. Hot dog grind. So what have you been up to, man?
Just drinking beers, doing some garage shit now that it's nice out.
Yeah. I was just sitting on my personal basketball court yesterday.
You have your own basketball court?
I have my own basketball court.
You talking about like a hoop in your driveway?
No, we have a straight up like concrete basketball court in the backyard.
Oh, in your backyard?
It's a little slab, and then there's the basketball goal.
I think I know what it looks like, yeah. That's pretty cool. Were you shooting hoops or just hanging down?
We were hanging, eating some burgers.
Nice.
And as I was eating my burger, I started looking around. I started looking at the grass. I'm like, man, it's about time to start mowing.
Dude, it rained real hard the other night, and then like, I don't know, was that 2 nights ago or last night?
2 nights ago.
Yeah, because then yesterday when I came home from work, I was looking at my yard, and I was just like, damn right. It was so green and just awesome. I got excited.
Yeah.
I realized too, like I was gonna get one last cut in the fall, but then it like just got really cold and started snowing. I never got that one last cut, and I was looking at my yard, and I'm like, I could probably run the mower over it now if I just wanted to.
I bet Joe didn't get his last cut in either.
Yeah,
that last one in. Last place we lived at. He was talking about possibly mowing his yard the other day or today or something like that. I overheard it, and I'm like, you ain't gonna mow your yard. Oh shit, we got David Linder in here. Hey,
Hi.
Dave, if you want, just come on over.
Dave, ask us a question.
Ask us questions first, and then come over.
Dave, take your shirt off.
You're listening to the Voice of Survival Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nate Phillips.
That was a phenomenal portion of the conversation that I had with Miss Athena Finger. Man, time flies. It's crazy to think that interview happened so long ago, really early 2018, and it just feels like it's been a lifetime ago. At this point, it's only been a year, but so many things have happened since then. Obviously, as I mentioned before, up next we've got my amazing and fun interview with Stu that took place on my birthday, which is next week. As you're listening to this, right? Today's the 12th. So yeah, next Friday when Crucial Tunes episode 7 comes out, 007, Nate's going to be bam, wham, shamalam, goddamn, turning 32, man. And that's crazy. So right now, without further ado, here's my interview episode, I think it was episode 18 or 19, somewhere. I think it was 19. I think it was episode 19 of the Voice of Survival podcast from season 1. I didn't do my research. I'm a horrible host. Me with Stu Block from Iced Earth. And then that's going to be it, folks. So you're going to get the outro from me later on in that show because I'm just going to let that all roll out. You'll probably get the last half of this one. So here, without further ado, me talking to Stu Block. You and I happen to be chatting it up with Stu Block from Iced Earth, so that's pretty crazy, man.
Well, I'm glad you think that's a birthday present, man. You could be doing far more exciting things on your birthday.
Listen, stuff's pretty simple in my life. I'm not really materialistic that much. I got to see my dad today. I've got to see my family today. I get to talk to you. Like, it's a win.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be part of it.
Absolutely. Well, Stu, let's get right into your journey. While I met you in a parking lot in Indianapolis back in February and had a hilarious interaction with a little guy who was looking for a ride home.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was a really weird thing.
Totally out of nowhere. Like, we decided, hey, we're going to say hey to each other and meet up for a minute. And then this little guy kind of showed up and said, hey, can someone call me an Uber? I'll give you $100.
That was insane. Yeah.
So then my journey stopped becoming like chit-chatting with you. Brandon kind of got to chit-chat with you, and I got pulled into this other side journey.
Right.
But then we kind of got to chit-chat a little bit later when I saw you guys in Chicago in March, which, let me tell you, it was cool to see the start and the end of a tour for a band, like the first and last show, because the energies are two different things, and you can tell you've been sleep-deprived and been on the road and busted your ass, and it's not as fresh off that first show. The energy's different, but then at the end of the show, you're so like you guys in Chicago just killed it.
Yeah, it's interesting how it goes. At the beginning of any tour, like you're just getting the groove, right? You're just getting the groove. Sometimes we're changing up songs on the list and seeing how the crowd reacts and all that kind of stuff. And then mid. It's funny. We always chuckle because we go, well, by the end of the tour, we'll be a well-oiled machine, So it's funny how it works. But no, it's all good. It was fun. I think it was a really energetic tour throughout the whole thing, because the underlying energy of course, having Sanctuary on there, and the fans were great, and the shows were doing well. So we had a great time.
Absolutely, and I can definitely speak on the fans' perspective and say that we all had a blast. And of course, you had some like cool, memorable moments, but we'll get to those throughout this show within that tour. But you born in November of '77 in Vancouver, is that correct?
Ottawa.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So Canadian born and raised. What was your first instrument? Where did you start? Did you start on an instrument? Has it always been the vocals?
It's always been vocals for me, my friend. Yeah, it's always been vocals. Actually, I'd like to take up. I'd like to learn a bit more guitar, but but I've always nurtured the vocal aspect of my musicianship, I guess, and just I think it's worked out.
Absolutely. So per the notes that I have, according to your internet page, Omega Crom is your first band.
Yeah, it was the first band that I was in. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily my band. It was actually, I got into that band. I was jamming with a few people before. One of my very, very first ones was actually Self Regime. And so that was formed sort of mutually. And then I found Omega Crom, and then we were writing stuff together, and we played a lot of shows together. But yeah, those were my first two. Yeah.
And that was like your early taste of music and the playing in front of people and whatnot.
Definitely.
When did those bands kind of take shape for you? Late 90s, early aughts?
Well, let me just think. 2000, yeah, like pretty much like 99, 2000.
Excellent.
99. Well, you know what? I'd actually have to say 1998 was when it all really, when I made the decision that I wanted. 98, 99 is when I made the decision that I wanted to pursue this really seriously. And then, so yeah, now here we are almost 20 years later.
Yeah, man. And it's definitely been an incredible journey. Of course, along the way, after the Omega Crom, you went into a new venture, which was Into Eternity.
Yes.
What is that experience like for you?
That was killer because, of course, in Omega Crom, like I was doing the hybrid thing where I was doing the falsettos mixed with the death vocals and then the traditional classic power metal vocals, and then we toured with them, and then we played in Regina, Saskatchewan, where I live now, and we basically. Played at a place where the Tim Roth, the leader of Into Eternity, was there. I guess he heard about us coming in. He knew that, and he liked high singers, and he knew that I was doing the falsetto stuff, and we did that. We did that show. And we also did a cover of Painkiller and Welcome Home by King Diamond.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then it was funny. I never really got to meet him after the show. He just kind of took off. But I was like, okay, well that sucks. And then he contacted me later. And he said he was really, really impressed and that he wanted to try me out. And I guess the rest is history. I came out there and tried out and got the gig.
Gig.
It was a really cool transition because it was like I've been from the lowest level all the way till now, right? So I've done every level with a couple of different bands. I've done every different level of touring that you could possibly imagine, right? Everything from the lowest fucking end, not playing to like 4 people, on no stage and basically no PA, you know what I mean? And to playing freaking arenas with, it's really been a cool thing to see those transitions, actually, come to think of it.
I mean, from you, like you were saying, from local bars where you're playing for a couple people, they say, like, what's a monitor? We don't know what monitors are. We just...
Yeah, like, fuck off. Just yell if you have to, whatever,
you're like,
right?
No, I'm a singer. I need to hear what's going on, man.
Yeah.
And then from that all the way to, like, Ancient Corion, where you guys played Cyprus, those are 2 very far apart spectrums that are incredible, right?
Sure, for sure. And I think dues were paid to get there, and we had... There's a lot of shit you have to go through in order to get to that point, or to be at those or those moments of achievement that you feel are moments of achievement. I feel I'm success is relative, right, to the person, right? But I think I am probably one of the most successful people I know. I mean, there's really, like, I'm very proud of what I've done, and I could, God forbid, but I could die tomorrow and I'd be very happy. I wouldn't regret anything, or I'm not going to be on my deathbed regretting anything, because I took chances and I did stuff and I'm very proud of what I've done. And I, just because I'm not a millionaire, success, like I say, success is relative. I know people that are very successful in music and that have big houses and that's their level of success, and that's success for them. But for me, my levels of success is just doing what I've done. I'm happy. That's great. And if I make $1 million doing it, which I don't think I'll ever do, but that's not my goal. Money is not a goal. But if it ever happened, that's just the gravy, man. That's perfect. That's great. You know what I mean? I can save more cats.
That's awesome that you brought up cats, because obviously you're a humongous cat lover. Anybody who follows you on Instagram can easily go through and see a ton of different cool cat pictures and things you've memed with cats and whatnot.
Sure.
Does that mean we should just start calling you Lucifer? Or
Right.
Stucifer?
Yeah, Lucifer, right? No, but they do call me it's funny because I'm kind of like a cat. When I'm on tour, I sleep like 13, 14 hours a day. I don't party a lot. I mean, I pick my battles, of course, and whenever I say I'm going to party, they're like, "Oh, fuck." You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I pretty much go off, but it's very rare that I do. So, they put me in the hockey helmet and give me a bottle of whiskey and say, "Don't hurt myself." But, but it's, they call me the cat because I sleep a lot, man. And I'm like always kind of, sleeping. So like, oh my God, it's the cat. Go wake up the cat, So maybe I am spawned from a feline, some sort of feline from a past life. Who knows?
Well, and on this past tour, you did a lot of climbing. I mean, I'm just saying.
A lot of energy on that show, for sure.
Brent's drum riser had you all over it.
Yeah,
I saw many pictures where you were on top of that thing, and then, of course, in Chicago, you were able to do that. Not the same in Indy, because that place was so low ceilinged, I do recall. Right. But anyways, going back to Into Eternity, you guys released 2 albums together in your time with the band, Scattering of Ashes in 2006 and The Incurable Tragedy in 2008. Now, in the middle of that, in 2007, you got to tour with one of your, I do believe, favorite bands in Dream Theater, right?
Yes, yeah, we got to do that. That was great. Yeah, that was pretty spectacular freaking moment, man. Like we were all super stoked on that one, for sure.
It has to be an unreal experience for you.
Oh, it absolutely was. Absolutely was. Yeah, it was I love James LaBrie. He gets a lot of hate, but so do I, and whatever. Like I'm a big fan of him, and I'm a big fan of Mike Portnoy. And we made friends, and it was really cool. They were all very down to earth, and we had a great time on that tour. Man, all we got was I think we were playing 20 to 25 minutes a night or whatever. I think we got a 30 minutes one night, but we were giving it our all, and we were just happy to be there, man. We were simply just happy to be there and playing with some of our idols. So definite. And that was our first arena tour, I believe, or like big theater kind of tour.
Hell yeah.
So, that was really cool. And then did some really cool stuff with Into Eternity, man. Like paved the way for my career now, and taught me a lot. Did my first music videos with them, and So it was and made some of my best friends still till to this day are, Tim Roth and Troy and Justin, and so it's great.
You make longtime life mates through music, and that's, I think, ultimately, regardless of what your musical career does as any person in music, if you can create a genuine bond with people when you're making music, man, there's nothing greater. That's like genuinely my belief.
That's going to last a lifetime, and so will the music that you created together, because those albums will always be around. I still get. When I'm doing VIP meet and greets and stuff like that, I still get people coming up with Into Eternity albums, getting me, wanting me to sign them and going, I just got into this, I just bought all the albums. There's still kids buying them, you know what I mean? And it's really cool. So that music will last forever, and so will the friendships that until we're dead, but basically those friendships are valuable, lifelong treasures for sure.
Hell yeah. So Incurable Tragedy comes out in 2008. Shortly thereafter, you guys find yourself yet again on the road playing with one of your favorite bands, Symphony X.
Yes. And then again, Michael Romeo, and then Russell Allen, who he's a good buddy, and so that was killer, man.
Of course, your history with Russell Allen comes full circle later in Plagues of Babylon, and we'll get into that here in a short minute. But touring with Symphony X is, I want to just really quickly bring this up to you, because your time touring with Into Eternity and you guys doing the show with Symphony X is the first time I ever hear the name Stu Block in my life.
Okay.
And Brando comes up to me, and he sees you guys open for Symphony X in Chicago. I think it was the Pearl Room in Mokina, but don't quote me on that. And he goes, man, we were at the show, and I went to see Symphony X, and I'm stoked to see Symphony X, right? And I was like, yeah, man, I like Symphony X quite a bit. I think this was like right after Paradise Lost had just come out. And he goes, dude, the opening act blew me away. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you don't get it. And he played a couple tracks from one of the two albums that you had done with Into Eternity, and it blew my mind because your range is insane. So I'm very curious, where do you build your ability to build that range vocally?
Well, it's always kind of been there. I don't know, I've had a natural ability to do those kinds of things, but because I started out in Omega Crom, I was doing like this sort of like I started building it back then in like 1998. And I just kind of knew that I could hit the high stuff, and I love doing the death vocals. Trust me, I went through a lot of vocal heartache, figuring out how to do it, taking it on the road, learning how to transition everything. It was a lot of work, man. It was a lot of work.
It's time for Brews with Dudes.
Ah, juicy. And we're live down at the North End Pub. Mysterious location revealed. We were talking before the podcast about this was a super secret location. I revealed it in the first 5 seconds. We're here for another episode of Brews with Dudes. I'm sitting here with Chris Kerrigan.
What's up?
Brett Maxwell.
Hello.
And Mr. Casey Taylor.
Fly that W, Cubs win.
There
Opener.
It is.
They've been celebrating all day. Got some. We got free hot dogs, Chicago-style dogs from
Shout
AJ's.
out to AJ's. Adam Warso had free Chicago-style dogs, mac and cheese bites, and waffle fries all day today.
Hell yeah!
I'm gonna be smashing the shit out of it after we've gotten a little tipsy.
Yeah,
I told him to make some more. I was like, dude, just go back and throw a whole bag of mac and cheese bites.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
We're gonna need it. We're having fun. We got caught up again where we were recording an episode like the night before it's supposed to come out, so we're getting a backlog here. We're going to be down here tomorrow night, too, for the Toppling Goliath tap takeover.
That's big.
We'll be the first ones in town to have it.
Correct.
So we're pretty fucking excited about that. So for those of you watching on Facebook, we will be back here tomorrow night, probably around the same time, honestly.
Yeah, 7-ish, 8.
We're going to have some fun. We're going to have some fun tonight. Before we get going too much more into the random ramblings, let's... what are we drinking here first?
S'mores, 450 North.
Oh,
released
goodness.
about, a month ago?
I didn't remember if we did it on the episode or not.
I don't remember if I know I didn't do an episode with you. I don't remember if I saw an episode with you doing it, but it is going to be great since it aged.
One way or another, we're going to enjoy it. Cheers, boys.
Cheers. Casey's going in for it.
Breaking code.
Yep, can't control himself.
That was my fault. This is a good beer. It's worth not cheersing someone to drink first, then cheersing someone after.
Oh yeah. It is delicious.
That has aged really well.
Ooh, that is really tasty. There's a lot going on there.
I get more of the chocolate this time than the marshmallow.
Very Grammy.
Yeah, because then you guys tell me that they literally were brewing that morning. When
Canning
it. Yep.
They said they've been there multiple times at 6 o'clock in the morning to start canning before they send the beer out. And after you can it, you still want it to sit for at least 2-3 weeks
usually
to let it settle. Because like when you bottle yours,
it's technically still good. Because in the tanks you can infuse them with CO2 and stuff.
Okay.
So, you'll typically want to let them chill for a little bit, but that's why when we try them on tap and stuff, they're usually pretty all right.
Yeah, because this does taste different than what I remember it from about a month ago. Because I had a can like that night.
Yeah, it was more marshmallowy to me.
Yeah.
I got more marshmallow. Now I'm getting more chocolate and, like you said, graham cracker.
Yeah, this is really good. I'm enjoying it.
I like it a lot.
Shout out to 450 North for another great beer.
I feel like
we had our first negative experience at 450. It wasn't their fault at all, but we went for one of their releases. We got there.
Same time we always do.
We're doing pretty fine. All the beers we wanted sold out. Literally the person ahead of us. So
Casey knows about that.
It was one kind of a burn to have it, 20, 30 people ahead, we lose it. Oh, that's sad. But the person right in front of us, it's ooh.
The line was what, like just over halfway through when they said they were out of
all the good stuff.
Which one? Well, no,
all the good stuff.
Well, we got the first one they announced that they were out of was, like I said, halfway through the line.
The strawberry banana milkshake IPA.
And then the other two sold out before us, and there was still probably a quarter of the line behind us.
Yeah, we still picked up some of the blueberry dessert, which I love. That one's fucking amazing.
We tried it on drafts. I mean, we got to taste them.
Oh,
they
man,
were good.
The Caribbean slushy. Oh,
yes.
It was the best.
Oh, my God.
It was the best Berliner Weiss I've ever had, period.
I loved it. I think they'll do it again.
It's just juice.
I think they'll do it again.
Delicious, fucking awesome fruit punch beer. It was so good.
Hell yeah.
The strawberry banana was heartbreaking. I did not get to go, and that was I was really looking forward to that.
I think that one needed a little more time.
It did. I think it did.
A lot of their milkshake series has been like that. Almost every one of those that I've had, I prefer them about a month or two later. Because I remember the blueberry, the first time I ever had that, I really didn't care for it.
The blueberry definitely took time.
And I left it in the fridge for like a month or two. Was like, nah, I'll give it a second try. And was like, that was noticeably different.
I gave mine, like when I first tried it, I gave mine to Zach right away. I'm like, I just don't, like, he's like, he wanted them. I'm like, you can have them. He drank all three that night.
Fool. No,
he enjoyed it, so whatever.
No, exactly. However you want to do it.
Yeah, if you guys get a chance, 450 North S'mores winner.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's one of their good stouts.
Let's not waste any more time. The next one is a chocolate milk stout.
Count Nebula.
Who's this from?
Fountain Square.
Fountain Square Brewing Company.
Oh, yeah.
I've yet to go in there to their location. I've definitely had their beers before.
I've been once. Actually, it was the first time I went to see Nabla Viscaris that you missed out on.
Why do you always have to say it like that?
Because I feel really bad.
That show that you missed.
Yeah, that really great show that you weren't able to go to.
That one where you should have been there.
So we went and got some growler fills.
Yeah, I feel like that's Matt Violante's like buddies with the new owner. I think the new owner of that place lives in Lafayette. That's what he told me.
Interesting.
So that's a place like if we ever wanted to go down, I think we could get a tour and go check it out.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Well, yeah. I could be wrong, but I feel like, the guy that currently now owns that is a Lafayette guy.
Interesting.
That's awesome. Let's get into it.
I was like that finger pistol, man.
Yeah, I was finger pistoling Keith. Keith reps the Brews With Dudes. He's over there asking, "Can I play pinballs?" One time we were
as long as he doesn't scream
scream
after every ball.
Yeah, we were recording right over near one of the machines, and some dude just walked up and started going to town on it. We're like, dude, please stop. Like,
some people don't get how much noise these will pick up.
14 machines. We're the one right on us. And then the best part when I kind of gave him the look like, hey, dude, why don't you kill that? He just kind of turned, shook his head, yes.
And then
multi-ball, baby. Multi-ball. Just got
killing
louder.
it.
Went to town.
Wow.
Can't interrupt the dude on multi-ball.
Great.
No, sure can't. All right.
Gotta let it go.
Count Nebula. Let's jump on in.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
Nice and chocolatey.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah,
It is.
no
smooth.
kick.
It's unique.
Yeah.
There's no kick.
Doesn't have like a heavy body to it
It's
like
malty.
I expected. Yeah.
It's malty.
Yeah.
It's that for a dark beer. If it sounds correct, it's actually kind of clear. It's lighter and it's dark.
It really
but it's
is.
Still,
It looks more like a brown ale,
Yeah.
or like
Yeah.
a Scottish ale than a stout. A little bit lighter.
Agree to that.
Yeah,
I mean, it
like
says
barely
right.
getting through.
It says right on here, dark roasty malt aromas give way to a chocolate sweetness and a silky finish. That is perfectly described.
Yeah.
Because like it doesn't have a heavy mouthfeel to it.
No, it doesn't.
Hello, Eric.
Eric Hines is sitting over there. We're waving at him. For those of you watching, you can see that. For those of you listening, that's why we described it. We are storytellers here at Brews With Dudes.
Yep.
Welcome.
And if you're watching, this little finger pistol's not for you. It's for Eric.
Shooting through you to the Heinz. Mr. Hines.
Possibly P-Lot, John Riley, Katie. I'm just in that vicinity.
To anyone
Taking
else
them all
but
down.
the viewer.
Oh, there's one for Susan.
Ooh.
Just looks away. Jesus.
It's coming off hot over here.
She
The
didn't
finger
even care.
bangers.
God dang.
Finger banging.
It's like the Wild Wild West out here.
It is. We're giving them that cold hard cream.
I did just start Red Dead Redemption last night, so
So you feeling like a cowboy?
feeling quite like a cowboy.
But no, that was good.
I
I
gotta
haven't
say,
had a
I
lot
think
of Fountain
my-
Square beers. That's one of my first ones.
That's pretty all right.
I'm trying to remember. We had an IPA of theirs we got, and we filled up like 3 growlers of it because we were just in party mode at that point. But it was me, Shane, and Miles. Yeah, they've got an interesting spot. I don't think they brewed. I think it was just their tap room that we went to. I don't know if it's all one location. But like I said, we just walked in, we hung out for a few minutes, got growlers, and bounced. Had a show to get to.
There's so many breweries down there that are hidden that I haven't been able to make it to yet. So many. Fountain Square being one of them. That's crazy. It's like, man, I feel like I've been to tons of breweries down there. Yeah, bud. There's more.
Yep.
There is more.
There's always more.
Now, this next one has one of the most interesting cans I've seen in a minute.
Yes.
It's called the Brown Note, and it's literally a dude in whitey tighties
who has shit himself.
Spray
Spewing.
farting.
He had a very good shark going on.
That is a stream.
It's not a shark. That is
Beyond
a spray
a shark.
fart.
That's the
with
Great
the
River
TP in his
Nile.
left hand. So, I mean, he knew it was coming, and he said, fuck it.
You got to risk it for the biscuit, man.
What is he risking? He's
I don't
just
know.
doing it.
His organs, his internal
sent
organs
it.
might come out with it.
I mean, just by the look of this dude, it looks like a dude walking around his house on a Monday about 3 p.m. and just said, "No one's here. I'm just gonna shit myself."
He's standing in the shower. He's
Get it
standing in
done.
the shower right now.
Yeah.
I bet he's standing in the shower, and he doesn't have to worry about mashing it down because it's just gonna run right down the
Guys,
drain.
Yeah, so
fucking God, that's enough.
Oh, man.
Well,
That's
so
enough.
So I told Nick this. So we have a Tuesday late night league. We have a Cubs bowling league. And anyways, the next day, my brother runs the lanes and kind of cleans the approaches. And when I came in, he was like, "Hey, weren't you guys bowling on lane 13 last night?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Well, do you have anything to tell me?" And I was like, "Nah, man. Like, it was actually me, my buddy Denny, and Nick Savoy. We're like, it was just us and Screech and Jesse and that crew." And he's like, "All right." And he goes, "Well, I'm just gonna tell you guys there was a turd. There was just a single turd out on the approach, and unfortunately, it's not the first time someone's shit on a bowling lane. As weird as that is, and there was that moment where I remember where it's spring break, so there's kids here at all hours of the night. There's about a 3-year-old kid that took off on lane 4, took off running, stopped on lane 13, did a little dance, which at the time I thought was cute. Turns out he shook a turd out.
Wow.
And kept running down to lane 24 where Zach DeWitt was, and his mom yelled at Zach to grab him. And Zach was like, "I'm not touching your kid."
My God.
Now we know, smart guy, because the kid was just running around shaking turds out his leg.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lanta.
So, yeah, that was on the Brown Note.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And it was funny because I remember being like, "Oh, that's cute. Kids just doing a little dance." Nah, dude, that was
He's shaking.
shaking
he's
a
dropping
turd out
his
his
shit.
leg.
Ooh, buddy.
I mean, at 3,
Man.
that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
I mean,
getting rid of this shit.
At least he went
didn't just
away
hype-
from his family. He went away from his family.
Correct.
So I mean, he's considerate of his family already. So good kid.
Don't disrespect
And he
the
didn't
family.
just like make the weird face, let it go down his leg. He danced. Like he made it look like, oh, little kid having fun. You didn't even know. Boom, next day you're cleaning up a turd.
He was committed
That's
to dropping
maniacal.
that turd.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
He's
what it
gonna
was,
go on to do
commitment.
great things in life.
I think so.
You guys' interpretation of that is wild. The things you took from it.
I mean, came up and gave it a cool hard cram.
If he would have did that little kid thing where they get quiet and make the weird face.
Just kind of stand
I'd be like,
still.
oh, man, he's shitting. That kid is pissing or shitting himself. But he was out there, Cardi B song playing. He was just getting it and just leaving it as a little gift.
That's not a gift.
No.
That's not a gift
It's
I
not.
want.
No.
All right.
Absolutely not.
On
let's
that,
get,
let's-
Nor was
get
it a
the brown
baby-sized Butterfinger.
let's leave a streak down our throats with this guy.
All right, brown note.
Awful. That's light. That's pretty light for a brown.
Even the color, you can
Yeah.
look at it.
It's a nice caramel color. I haven't delved into too many brown ales.
This one is very light. It's a very light brown.
My first one was People's Mr. Brown, and it just turned me off completely. And I just haven't really experimented too much with anymore.
It's funny because it has a weird aftertaste. Like, I don't really care for it. And then about 10 seconds later, it's not as bad. Like, initially, it's got kind of a funky taste, and then it sits all right.
Interesting.
I don't think any of us tried this when we went.
No.
I mean, I get a little bit of maltiness, but it just...
really light.
It's kind of just there.
Yeah.
It's kind of just there, you know? Can't really describe it
If
much.
I close
but
my eye, that could be any beer or color.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, I mean,
It's the brown note.
come on. Yeah. What do I expect? What did I expect?
There's a guy in whitey tighty shitting himself on the cover. So.
Just a tunnel of poo right down my mouth.
Yep.
I said what I said.
What brewery is that?
Against the grain.
Okay.
That's what this one is too. The Citras Down Double IPA. This shit's
like the
good.
name.
Oh, it is
This
good.
one's real good. I haven't had it on the show, but we had it when we went down to Against the Grain a couple weeks ago for Between the Buried and Me.
Oh, that show that Brett missst.
Yeah, the show that Brett
that,
missed.
that great show that I really wanted to go to. And
Yeah,
couldn't.
that you missed.
Yeah,
He missed it, though.
Why do you always gotta say it like that, huh?
That's the first time.
And I'm sure it's not gonna be the last. But I don't blame you. It's okay.
It was very fun.
I'll just keep an even ratio with the number of times you bring up now. Starting now.
You've got about 15 times to catch
Well,
up.
That's what I'm
Publicly.
saying. Starting
Publicly.
now.
Yeah.
I'm saying starting now.
Okay.
Because
All
I don't
right.
want to catch up. Because it'll feel like I'm being petty. Which I'm not. Because I've seen him a couple times since then. But it would have been nice to see him the first time. But I was too busy touring with 8 Bells, Voivod, and Vector.
We were
So
really.
I was having a pretty good time.
Seriously, we were trying to make I'll drive halfway, meet you halfway. Like I want you at this show.
Join us in a new podcasting adventure where we will journey far and wide to worlds, planets, territories, dungeons. I'm Nick. I'm Dave. And this is Dungeons with Dudes.
Is there something here? Is there something here?
These guys are like, why did you invite us to see you guys can stare into each other's
I think
eyes?
something's happening.
Apparently, they just like an audience. So.
I'm so happy you can join in.
So, Nick, what's your deal?
I can take care of myself.
Open.
But I'm not opposed to being a sandwich.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Especially being the cream filling to that sandwich.
Okay.
Gross.
Why God?
God has abandoned these lands.
I may not have started it, but I finished.
Yeah, we're in it.
That's the joke.
We are playing some Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and/or Dragons.
Yes. There will be
be
both,
either one.
maybe.
Maybe.
Last time was more housey than dungeony.
Houses and
There was a
And a
dungeon.
little more.
There was a dungeon under the
Underneath
house.
the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like
There were tunnels and an altar.
It-
Random
More
shit
piles
happening.
of piles of refuse than dragons.
There's like
House and refuse.
There's whips and
Hey,
chains,
enough about my apartment,
altars,
please.
and people in robes. It was very BDSM-y, and
Yeah.
there was this massive beast in there.
Maybe there's parts of it that we're not remembering.
I'll explain in the recap.
But we're all sitting here with our pals again.
What a deleted
Goodness,
recap.
yeah.
That was
Yeah.
adorable.
We're sitting here with the crew. We got Austin. We got AJ.
Hey.
We got Buckles.
Hello.
And we got Watts.
Hello.
Alex squared.
Alex squared.
Sweet. So, did you have a nice recap for us?
I do have a recap. It's gonna be a little different this time, but I do have the recap.
All right. I guess we'll give you some creative. You do whatever the fuck you want. All right. There we go. Thank
Juices?
you. God damn.
Previously on Dungeons with Dudes.
Hi there. My name is Agathon Holder. Heck, you can just call me Ag for short.
Holder what?
We've been through a lot. We kind of fucked up a bar at the beginning. I don't really remember much of that, but we went to go on a job, trapped in some mist. We found these 2 ghost children, and then we went inside a house, which wasn't fun. We've been attacked by creatures, not creatures, traps. It's been a really rough time, honestly. We fought a trash monster. Somebody almost died from that. That's being locked in the trauma part of my brain forever now. We did manage to put some people to rest and essentially figure out our way out of this house. And yeah, that's where I found you. As you all look, I am sitting next to the skeleton that just happens to be splayed out next to the house. As I'm just talking to it, and I'm just like, I just end with, and you know, and he said, I never loved you, and you know, that's why I don't go over for the holidays. And I look at you all, and I'm like, oh, hey guys, what's up?
Do you feel better now, Ag?
Honestly, yeah.
I'm glad.
Does no one want to mention the giant freaking vampire that was just like pointing down to us like Shang Tsung?
I mean, he was normal sized. He's just far away.
We could see him from far away.
He only looks like my nightmares.
Hello, Brandon Stone. Thank you for joining
the
us.
fact that he was Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat doing the "It has begun."
Yep.
All right, so you guys you emerge out of the death house.
TM.
TM. Here's a little map for you.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, in color?
Fancy map. You guys
Oh my
are
God.
right here.
Can I
Damn, that was a lot of mist.
put your sack down?
All right.
Only if you had fun.
Where are we again?
Nicely.
I couldn't.
We are right here.
Gently,
We're
gently.
right here.
Yes, you're right.
There.
At the circle.
I'm sorry. The expression there was wonderful.
So,
as you guys are leaving the death house, you know, and you see the spooky guy staring at you, and then another flash of lightning, and he's gone.
Oh shit.
But the castle is still like, you know, it like looms over the village.
Is it in the town or is it far enough?
It's outside the town.
Is it on our map?
As I say,
It's not on the map.
Oh, it's not on the map.
Which way? Which direction?
No, it's not on the map.
It would be over here.
Yes.
Over here, and we came into town this way.
Yep.
Well, we don't really know where we came into town necessarily, but like
We showed up right
We
there.
we
didn't go.
We found ourselves a town.
We
through
didn't
town.
really kind of get into town. We just kind of got teleported there. In a way.
Anyhow, all right.
We'll
so,
say it's like, it's hard to tell because it's pretty dreary. It's like a Tim Burton film. But it looks about midday, probably.
Are we going to walk around scored by Danny Elfman? That would be amazing.
Yes.
So, like, all right. So we walk out of the house. What is the village like around us besides obviously very dreary?
It's very dreary and run down. There's not a whole lot of activity, but
we actually see people.
There is some people, but it's
Where the hell?
as you guys are kind of watching. Like, there's people that like are walking by, but they look very nervous, and some of them is like they're walking by. They see you guys. They will openly just stop and stare.
All right. Well, the first person that does that, guard says, "Excuse me, sir, or ma'am. I don't know if it's
We see it's a guy.
We'll say it's a guy. Okay. Excuse me, sir. You wouldn't happen to have directions to Daggerford, would you?"
He just walks away from you.
Just
openly just walks away.
I just call out to him and I'm just like, don't allow to stare in for somebody who's not going to stay and fight!
Oh, God.
Ag, please don't
Ag
pick
drunk?
fights.
I'm just mad! I've been through a lot.
I'm actually curious as to where all these people were while we were in the house. Like, we showed up and there was
There was no one but a lot of mist and 2 kids crying in the street.
Well,
Now,
maybe.
all of a sudden,
Okay, so it's clearly we've been catapulted forward in time, so maybe the town didn't exist.
Oh, that's right. The house did kind of
Yeah,
have a whole.
just, once you guys are done, that
Yeah.
like that heavy mist, that fog that you guys, it's kind of subsided a little bit. Like the sun kind of burned off some of the mist, so you can see the village a lot easier.
Do I see
All right.
any sort of buildings that have a light source coming from them? Perhaps a tavern, an item shop, or something?
From where you're at, no. But you guys can use
torches of any sort.
Yeah, honestly.
Towards like this direction,
So,
you can
yeah.
tell it's like the center of town.
Without.
And we are like.
I suggest
here.
we
I say-
maybe move and inspect the town.
I'm gonna try and go
I-
to the center
I
of town.
agree.
I want to. Yeah, we need to try and find somewhere where we can stop.
But like as you guys are walking through the village, there's a lot of and there's not a ton of people out doing stuff. But when they are, you see people leave their houses and stuff. It's very quick. Like they're
Furtive.
head down, and they're going to they know where they're going, and they go back in there. It's almost like they're scared to be outside.
Not a lot of lollygagging.
No. And it is eerily quiet. There's not a whole lot of your typical town. You have people
like birds,
you know,
nothing.
no birds. There's no you don't hear anyone haggling for items or anything.
Lovely.
No one's.
birds.
Oh, I haven't seen you since last year.
Yeah.
There's no
None of
Italian
that.
guy in the corner hawking apples.
No,
I
none
got
of that.
apples.
It's very
Really like a dead town.
There's no
So,
song. There's
just
no
like-
song in the streets.
Just like everybody, just anybody that happens to be furtively walking by us. If I try to talk to him, do they all just nope, and keep going?
pretty much. And then you might be able to try to persuade some people.
May I
Make me.
may I roll a persuasion check?
Yes.
All right. Okay, cool. That is a 21. So basically, what I'm trying to do is be first person she can grab, not literally grab, but as they go by, just goes. I don't want to take much of your time. I don't want to cause trouble. Is there a meeting place, a gathering place in this town, a tavern, an inn, anything like that we can go to?
You could try the bar.
What is that called, and where is it?
Blood of the Vine, over there.
Blood of the Vine?
Did you say Blood of the Vine?
Yes.
Nice.
Okay, thank you, sir. Have a good day.
So I guess we're going to a place called.
We're going that way.
The Blood of the Vine.
Sweet.
Yeah. All right, so you guys make your way towards the center of town.
I'd like to do a perception check. See, are there names on the buildings, businesses, anything?
Yeah.
There's some shops and stuff, but you can tell they've been boarded up and abandoned. A lot of them looks like they've just been looted.
So the only place really in business is the bar. Okay. Optimistic
All right.
place.
Good town.
Tall shapes loom out of the dense fog that surrounds everything. The muddy ground underfoot gives way to slick, wet cobblestone. Tall shapes become recognizable as village dwellings. The windows of each house stare out from pools of blackness. A sound cuts the silence. No sound cuts the silence except for mournful sobbing that echoes through the streets from a distance.
This place is just lovely. I'd like to move here.
So the weather's kind of just gloomy. It's rainy.
Oh, I think it's just very foggy.
Kind of overcast, probably.
Yeah.
No sun, light.
It's Indiana January, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's
I gotta
it's
get
what
an idea
a
what
it's
that's
what a
like.
town would look like if it was actually hung over.
That is accurate. It is a hungover town.
I have lived in Muncie. How dare you, sir?
How dare you insult Barovia like that?
The party village of Barovia.
Alright, well, we...
The party bus is actually just
As
a
you guys
plague,
make
the
your way
plague
towards,
cart.
make your way towards the center of town, over here, you see there is one sign that says Bildras Mercantile, and it seems open.
Bildras?
Bildrath.
Bildraths. Okay, it is a
Bildrath.
possessive. I see.
It's his mercantile.
I see.
Or hers.
We don't judge.
Okay. That's a
And then
shop.
over here, you can see there is the sign that says Blood of the Vine.
Mm-hmm. Alright, well, first things first, everyone. Let's not split up
Okay.
at all in this town.
I just want to make a point. I want to check out this mercantile means merchant, right?
Right.
Like it's a shop.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's go there first.
We don't have any gold.
We have some
I
gold.
got
Yeah, we
2
do.
gold.
We have some gold and we have some silver. So like it can't
That's
hurt
true.
to go in there.
Yes, that's true.
It can't hurt to look.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, just window shop.
Look.
Window shopping. Paying the 5-finger price. Let's go.
As you guys are, talking about this in the streets, you still notice there's a lot of these people, like a lot of townsfolk are very somber, and then occasionally, like not very often, but you see like people riding in on horses, and they kind of stand out from these other Barovians. Like they're
like guards.
They dress a little bit nicer, and they actually like have smiles and look a little more like welcoming. But you notice they don't like stay in the town. Like they may stop by at the tavern or something, but then they move on.
Would it be worth anything for me to make an insight roll in regards to these weird people, or no?
Yeah, you could.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Okay. Oh, God, I'm wasting all my good rolls. That's a 22 insight.
With that, you can kind of gather they are not from this town. And it's kind of hard to tell just by, like, passing by. But it looks like maybe they're a lot less somber and, like, depressed.
They look more like noble, maybe?
Not necessarily noble, but almost looks like they're not, like, they don't live in this village, so they may not be, like, as oppressed. You kind of get that feeling.
Okay.
This town's very oppressed.
Directly underneath the castle of fucking Strahd.
Yeah.
I might have something. All right. Okay. Well, I guess unless anyone else has anything
Are
to
we
do.
going to the mercantile, or are we going to the bar?
Let's go to the mercantile first.
Mercantile.
All right. The sparse light from this building spills out from behind drawn heavy curtains. A sign over the door creaking on its hinges reads Bildras Mercantile. So you guys enter the shop, and there is just one guy sitting there. Just kind of a very, like, somber-looking guy. Like blonde hair.
Human?
Yeah, human. Kind of older. And as you open, like, he's sitting there working on stuff, he kind of looks... And you don't have to make any insight. He looks almost terrified seeing, like, adventurers like you. Like, he's just like... Like he's seen people like you before, but...
I'm gonna walk up
What
to
time?
him.
What time of day is it?
Let's say about midday.
Midday. All right.
I'm gonna walk up to him and just be like, "Hi there.
I'm gonna help you.
Do you have any? Do you happen to have any short swords by any chance?"
60 gold.
Oh. For a short sword?
For a short
60 gold.
Is it? Hold on. Wait.
I require your strongest potions.
Is it a magic short sword?
Just sword.
And you want 60 gold for it?
60 gold.
Could
it's
we?
his store. He could set the price.
Could we perhaps persuade you to come down on that price a little bit?
Nope.
Why so high? Why
If you
so,
want it badly enough, you'll pay for it.
Why so high a price, might I ask?
No need.
Supply and
Do you
demand.
sell things often, friend?
How much money?
Sometimes.
How much capital do you make? Can I see?
Are you guys gonna buy something, or are you just gonna?
What
like,
else does? I'm
sit
kind
here all day?
of perusing the store. What else does he have?